You gotta be kidding me. I mean, that's probably the best thing she could have said regarding this situation. You gotta be kidding me. This been how many years? Talking about her emails after emails after emails. This is why I hate politics with a passion. But yet it's just something like I done told you guys 1,000,001 times. Even though you may not mess with politics, politics will continue to mess with you. So it's just like that love-hate relationship. You know what I'm saying? And once again, I apologize if you're watching this when I upload it. I am not feeling well. I have a bad cough. So if you see me struggling, trying to talk, trying not to cough, I apologize. But this is why I hate politics. And this is why I struggle with this YouTube channel, because it feels like literally talking to a brick wall. Like literally talking to something that is not capable of having a conversation. Like a baby. But even worse than, because babies can communicate in cute little ways. But when you're talking or just seeing how the world is reacting to X, Y, and Z, it's sad. And it makes me just want to just pretend like I don't live in this universe. You know, just be in my own bubble, be in my own world, and just ignore everything. And that's where I've been in the past, maybe month? Because the stupidity and just the ignorance and just the laziness of people, the stupidity of people is really just draining. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'll make a video getting more into detail, but this is a perfect example of that, of just the hypocrisy of our government officials. And it's not really that is the problem, because we know that's going to happen. That's what happens when you give people power. You're going to have people who will abuse it. I get that. The problem is American citizens, the people I share this country with, are too stupid to have a real honest conversation. It's like if you're into the NFL and you have that one friend that is a fan of a football team that is literally the worst NFL team of all time. Okay, they will never see a playoff run ever. But he still will sit there and talk stuff about your team and pretend like his team is going to do something better next season. It's like talking to those kind of people. You can't have a real analysis when it comes to football with a person like that, because they don't live in reality. They live in the world that they want to construct, to where they think their football team is better than yours. But the stats and the statistics say different. You can't have conversations with that kind of person. And that's unfortunately politics today. Like, I have better things to do with my time. I'm reading all these historic books about X, Y, and Z throughout politics, throughout America, everything you can think of. I done probably read. And then I talk to idiots on a day-to-day basis who feel like they don't need to read anything, but yet they feel entitled to be in these conversations. But once again, I'm kind of sidetracking here, but this is the story that encapsulates everything I'm feeling right now. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
Before the US launched these surprise attacks on the Houthi militant group in Yemen, The Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, had all the details right in front of him.
I mean, I'm sitting in a Safeway parking lot watching my phone and realizing, oh my God, this might be real. I think Pete Hegseth just sent this group actual targeting information, actual sequencing of an attack.
He'd been mistakenly invited to an encrypted group chat by Donald Trump's own national security advisor, Mike Waltz. It was there Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth posted the war plans.
Why would they do it on Signal? Why would they do this on a messaging app? And why would they invite the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic to watch? It's a level of recklessness that I have not seen in many years of reporting on national security issues.
The Houthi-run health ministry says the attack in mid-March killed 53 people, including 5 children. The strike was celebrated in the chat with praise, fire emojis and the American flag. At one point, Vice President J.D. Vance warned of potential political anger. "I think we are making a mistake," he posted. "I'm not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now."
How did you learn that a journalist was privy to the targets, the types of weapons used?
I've heard I was characterized. Nobody was texting war plans.
Donald Trump told reporters he was unaware of the incident.
I know nothing about it. You're saying that they had what?
This is an extraordinary national security breach. Not only were military plans shared with a journalist, but it was done outside the usual secure government channels. It raises serious questions about how this administration handles classified information and the security protocols it follows.
This whole Trump administration is filled with lackeys and incompetent cronies. Think about that. You've put these people in charge?
The White House has told the ABC.
All right. First off, Hakeem Jeffries is okay. That's a whole nother story. But now, if this happened in a vacuum, if this happened in a different universe, and we just seen this moment, we could say, hey, sensible people, reasonable people would say they screwed up. They should not be doing X, Y, and Z. They should not be having these conversations outside secured conversational devices, whatever you want to call it, okay? You should not be texting this type of information in some random iOS app. That's not how that works, okay? And then sensible people say, hey, whoever screwed up needs to be held accountable and make sure this doesn't happen again. I got that. But unfortunately, that's not the world we live in, because we have proof of how Republicans acted when Hillary Clinton was accused of having these same kind of conversations through emails. Hey, guess what? Let's take a watch.
Nobody was texting war plans.
Man, this is sad.
Put lives at risk, and you can get people killed when you do that. Both the president, Hillary Clinton, if there was anyone other than Hillary Clinton, they would be in jail right now. This is a real deal, full-blown national security scandal.
She was less than truthful about it.
Hey, first off, hey, who is that? I'm a little confused. Who is that guy saying that? 2016? I mean, all of a sudden he has a change of heart, right? I mean, because when it happens to Democrats, oh my God, national security, held accountable, put into prison, yada, 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 all the good stuff you want to hear. But when it happens to you, when it happens to your team, oh, it's a change of tune, right? Okay, got you.
This is a real deal, full-blown national security scandal.
She was less than truthful about it repeatedly. And it goes to the issue of both competence and credibility. It is irresponsible for an elected official in her capacity to be discussing highly sensitive things on a format that she had to have known was not fully secured.
I think it's
what? Hey, guess who was else in that email or that group chat? This guy right here. I wonder is he going to have the same kind of energy for his people and himself? Or is it going to be, hey, we kind of messed up, we kind of screwed up, it was an accident, right? It was an accident. So let's just talk about something else, right? Got you. Let's continue.
Sensitive things on a format that she had to have known was not fully secured.
I think it's why many of us felt that there should have been a prosecution started with respect to Hillary Clinton regarding classified emails.
When you have the Clinton email.
Really? Hey, it's weird because all these people talking right now were in that same group chat. But people are actually defending this right here. That's what I can't get through my head right now. Are people that really stuck on stupid? Are people really stuck on their quote unquote team that much to where they can't say, hey, they screwed up, and whoever screwed up needs to be held accountable. Point blank, period. But no. That's not how that works.
Emails, when you have the fact that the sitting national security advisor right now, Jake Sullivan, was sending and laundering classified documents into an unclassified server, on top of the fact that the sitting president of the United States admitted he had documents in his garage that you're going in and out of.
Man, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, that's probably the best things she could have said regarding this situation. You gotta be kidding me. This been how many years? Talking about her emails after emails after emails. And they go and do something like this. Whew. All right, let's go to CNN.
I actually think it's indicative of something much larger, something much more systematic, right? So when you have people, I think, that are not qualified to be in roles and taking on these things, but also kind of not qualified in terms of competence in knowing how things work, knowing how should we be using, what kinds of systems should we be using, what are the protocols? There are all kinds of questions that those arise. There is a larger issue, too, of accountability. Mm-hmm. How are we going to deal with this? It's not something that should just go away in the news cycle tomorrow. It is something that should be investigated. It should be investigated with oversight. And I have the real question I think we should be thinking about is, who is doing the investigating of the investigators? Right? So the Trump White House says, we'll take care of it. But the problem is, in lots and lots of these cases, there have been independent investigations. There have been congressional investigations, including on both sides of the aisle. But there have also been inspectors general's investigations, right? This is how you pinpoint the problem. What do you do when those options are gone? When the Trump administration has removed them, you can't continue to say, well, this is just carelessness, this is just an accident. Yep. Because one time maybe is an accident, but we're also talking about people that should know better and should do better, particularly when it comes to issues of national security.
To the point of this being systemic, if you notice, the group name was Houthis PC Group. PC, people who don't know, stands for Principals Committee. In the White House, you have staff level meetings, you have deputy level meetings, and then you have Principals Committee meetings. In order to be eligible to be in a Principals Committee meeting, you have to be secretary level or above. So as mentioned, this is a systemic thing where this is the most senior people in our administration who are being careless with information and classified data. And surely it's not the first time that they have done this. And I think the most important thing about this particular case that people should understand is that this was not just a drone strike, although that would be very, very concerning regardless of that. But this was a manned mission. There were human lives on the line for this mission. So the fact that this could have fallen into wrong hands because of this carelessness would have potentially impacted the lives of American soldiers.
Did I see you nodding yes when I think it was the professor saying there should be an investigation into this?
Yeah, I do think there should be, and I think they're already doing it at the White House.
Now, this guy right here, not a big fan of. But him saying, like, yeah, I do agree that it should be an investigation. But just like the young lady said before, on what planet, in what universe do you think a Donald Trump administration is going to serve in an investigation on him and his own team properly? I don't know. So yeah, you can say, yeah, investigation, sure, why not? But just like she said, who's going to make sure the investigators are being held accountable for the information that they find or don't represent properly? Unfortunately, it needs to get to that level because we can't really trust people like that. So once again, the craziness.
But I totally agree with you because they're not quite sure how he wound up on the thing. And we need to find that out if there's something wrong with this system, which, by the way, I should just add again, they say already existed, was preloaded on computers and devices when they got there and was in use upon their arrival. So maybe we needed an investigation of when Signal started being used and by who and why people thought it was a good system to use. But of course.
No. The system isn't the problem. The problem is the type of conversation they wanted to have on that system, which was confidential conversations. That's the problem. Then he said, how did old boy even get into that chat group? Because somebody had to add him, which is the problem. You should not just be, fat fingering people from your context group into a group like that where you're telling sensitive information. It shouldn't be that easy. But if you're not in the proper systems, so when you're having those kind of conversations, you can't just fat finger your mom into that group chat, your babysitter into that group chat. It's supposed to be secure for a reason. That's where they screwed up. But of course, let's not have a real conversation.
When you make a mistake, you own up to it, you investigate the cause of it.
Did Pete Exit just own up to it, admit to it?
Well,
No.
look, I don't think there's...
I don't know.
I mean, the White House has
I think the
admitted...
answer there is no,
The,
though, right?
the head of the National Security Council and his spokesman have said these appear to be authentic messages, so they have absolutely validated that it occurred. So you own up to it, you figure out what happened, and you use it as a teachable moment, which is don't make these kinds of mistakes again, and you learn from it, and I agree, you do try to move forward. But I agree with you. You have to look into these things. You can't slough it off. It's an important...
I wonder what kind of energy he had during the whole Hillary Clinton email situation. Did he have that whole hey, we need to, she just needs to own up to it. Mistakes happen, right? Yeah, mistakes happen. And we should just try our best to move forward. I wonder, I bet you, and I'm not a betting man, but I bet my last dollar he did not have that same energy. Oh, no, definitely not. Don't think so. But of course, when it's your team, you all of a sudden have, the God's grace and God's forgiveness and love for everybody, right? Come on now.
Important deal. And I'm sure there's more details about it that we don't know yet, but that's what an investigation would uncover.
But what does it say that our Secretary of Defense, who leads the largest employer in the entire world, 2.9 million people, and who oversees the best fighting force in the world, was willing to share war plans on a text message app?
Well, there is a dispute about the nature of war plans between Hegseth and Goldberg, and I haven't seen what the texts look like, and neither have you, and so we'll let them fight that out. They're saying that it wasn't.
Technically, we seen some of the messages, and I don't know what war plans he's thinking about, but when you have location, time, strategic operations, when you have personnel, first and last, middle name, okay, what type of weapons you're going to be using, what else are war plans? I don't get it. From start to finish, from A to Z, that was all laid out. we seen that ourselves. So it's like, what are war plans then? I don't get it. You know, does it need to look like a football type of drawing? You know, the tight end goes, you know, cut left and go straight up, and like what else are war plans if that's not it? But of course, we're not here to have real conversations. We're just here to just kind of BS, you know, just BS your way through it. Got you.
I think this might be an issue of like capital W, capital P here.
I don't know.
They confirmed the authenticity of all the exchanges there, which included targeting information, personnel, you know, weapons being used. That seems like at a minimum, lowercase w, lowercase p war plan, yes? A plan for carrying out a military action.
Sure. I mean, obviously some details were being shared in the moment that it was occurring. But again, we don't really know because Jeffrey didn't publish all these things, which is probably the responsible thing to
If
do.
I have to choose between the two, I'm going to believe the journalist Jeffrey Goldberg. And we do know the danger of this, Scott, quite frankly, because in December, the FBI and the CISA warned, and they name-checked Signal, that we have to be careful about engaging these kind of platforms. They actually implicated China, although China denied any wrongdoing, but they said that China has the ability to infiltrate these systems, and it threatens our metadata. Now, this is before Kash Patel ran it, Mr. Deep State himself, so who knows what kind of nonsense they're spewing now. But this was actually something that our own American agencies warned us about, and the Secretary of Defense ignored those warnings and still involved Signal. And according to the reporting, Waltz himself included.
Man, that's kind of crazy. But once again, I don't understand.
Or plans.
Oh, shoot, my bad. I don't understand how people, Republicans, out of all people, can look at a situation like this and come up with excuses. And unfortunately, that's literally what's plaguing good faith conversations when it comes to politics. That right there. But once again, guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to continue to start posting. Hopefully I can get over this cold. So if you don't see any videos, at least after this day, you know why. But trust me, I will be posting. And, you know, once again, hey, if you agree or disagree with anything I said in this video, let me know in the comments down below. Or hit that Discord button so me and you can have that one-on-one talk. And like always, let's have that conversation.